For all their arrogance and overt self-assurance, narcissists frequently show an odd pattern in their sexual relationships. Though at first they seem fascinating, confident, and absolutely delightful, over time a dark truth shows up. They seem to avoid actual closeness. Regarding sex, what might seem to be a surface problem really runs far deeper. It is inherent. Their fear of connection reflects their inner conflict, that between their inflated feeling of self and the vulnerability that actual closeness calls for. Narcissists can first seem to be quite appealing. Like a moth to a flame, their immaculate look, flawless language, and apparently unwavering confidence lure people in. Their egos are raised by the love of others. They live on appreciation and on being the focus of attention. This sometimes makes them seem sexually daring, but beneath that surface they are deeply uncomfortable with actual closeness. The discomfort arises from the emotional connection that goes along with the physical act of sex, not from their lack of enjoyment of it. In its most natural form, sex calls for vulnerability. It calls for an openness that narcissists find challenging, if not impossible. Why is this? The narcissist's distorted view of self is the key. They are always striving to keep their picture of power, control, and perfection. That image's every flaw is unacceptable. Whether emotional or physical, true intimacy runs the danger of revealing the flaws they labor so hard to conceal, even from themselves. Their spouses could begin to recognize the fears hiding under the superficial appeal. This is terrible for a narcissist. The whole thought of being weak in any form disturbs their carefully created ego. They so create walls, deflecting emotional connection with deft strategies meant to keep their spouse at arm's distance. For many narcissists, sex turns from being about connection to more about performance. Seeing sex as a tool for power or to boost their ego, they could turn to it for control. They may seem emotionally detached and treat sex as a transaction rather than a significant act. They often put their own pleasure above that of their partner. Partners may feel used, as though they are only another instrument for the narcissist's self-gratification rather than an equal participant in the relationship. When the shine of the first attraction fades, narcissists may grow distant or apathetic, looking for fresh validation elsewhere. Even when narcissists do have sex, it may sometimes be a highly controlled experience. They may be quite concerned with how they are seen in the act, wishing to uphold their flawless image even in the most private settings. This performance-based approach eliminates the sincerity intimacy demands. Their spouses could believe they are following a script instead of developing a real connection. Over time, narcissists may even totally shun sexual contact, citing anything, work, stress, or a sudden lack of interest, that lets them distance themselves from the vulnerability that actual closeness entails. Their avoidance of closeness does not, however, indicate they are free from human connection or desire. Often profoundly lonely, narcissists find their solitude stemming from their incapacity to really connect with people. Like everyone else, they yearn for love and affection. Unfortunately, the emotional hazards associated are just too large for them to handle. Intimacy causes them to face their vulnerabilities, and for a narcissist, such encounter is intolerable. They so stay caught in a loop of shallow relationships, never completely allowing anyone in, pushing aside those who come too close.